So at the end of my stream yesterday, somebody asked, what advice would I give my younger self? And so here's that advice. None. Because I have no idea how to do things today. Right? I try to say that about why don't talk in absolutes. I have no answers for you. I have no idea how you can do anything. How to get a job in the game industry? I don't know. Like, I know how I got here. And I can relay that to you. But how you get from where you're at to your next step, I have no idea. I can talk about what I did and what I went through and some of the things, and some of those things will still be true. But a lot will be really different. I look at like dating. My God, dudes dating today, oh my God, I was an idiot. Like, trust me. Like, I met my wife by asking her for a quarter. I kid you not. My pickup line used to be, because I had a friend who dared me to find the stupidest line and it would never work, and it worked, was, hey, were you watching Speed Racer yesterday? Because it was that one where like the cave is closing in on him, and I don't know if he got out or not, because it was like a two-parter, and I didn't get to watch it this morning. If she laughs, we can keep talking. If she didn't laugh, I would literally just turn and walk away. Would that work today? I have no idea, because I don't, like, you guys are all on apps and stuff dating. Like, how do you do that? Like, ugh, that's gross to me. But I don't know. I'm not going to date. I'm happy where I am. Right? Like, so I can't give you that advice. I can't give you advice about like starting out your career, or here's a weird thing. One of the things that helped me see a lot of different ways and understand a lot of different people was I went through a period where I did a lot of illegal things. You should not do that today, because that will kill you. Like, I feel sad for people today if you're like in college, where I didn't have drugs that were just going to drop me dead for taking them. Like, there wasn't that crazy overdose. You had to really try. I once went 30 days where we decided to get messed up in a different way every day for 30 days. You had a problem. We started with drinking beer. We ended with smoking pot. In between there's a lot of strange stuff we did. But none of it was going to kill us, where it'd kill you now. Right? And so, like, some of the weird or funny stories that I have, I don't talk about, because it's like, that's just going to glamorize this thing that you shouldn't do anymore. Right? I mean, it's funny to me, and I look back at it, and I'm like, oh, that's... But also, some people didn't even get through that. Like, some people just changed and got weird. So I still wouldn't probably tell you to do that, right? But this is why finding community is important. Talking to people. And it's okay to ask that question for me to answer it this way, because it's part of the discussion, right? And so often, like, I talk to a lot of developers. I talk to a lot of CEOs. I talk to people who run big AAA studios. And then I talk to little indie devs. And one of the things we talk about is never trying to find the answer to the question. Instead, just hear how people talk about how they dealt with the problems that are similar to you. And then you could decide, is that applicable to me? What can I take away from that? What didn't work for them, but might work for me? And here's the thing. You're still going to make the same mistakes everybody else makes, because it's very stupid. But, like, that's the helpful advice, I guess, is just to try to find community around people so you can have these discussions, because nobody really knows the answer. And you'll go to GDC, right? I talked about that. It's the GDC paradox, where people at GDC are so sure this is the answer, but either it's unproven, because they just came up with these ideas. And I get that. I have that feeling where you have these words that come out and they're like, oh, this is a really good phrase. I should repeat this a lot. And you don't know. And then you find out later, like, their studio's gone under and everything's horrible. Or it's people who have had success, but they had success like 3 years ago, and it may not be how to do it now. Look at, like, on Steam, how quickly that changes of what works or not. It'd be crazy to pay for wish lists. People pay for wish lists now, and it's successful. I don't want to do that. Like, right? But, like, so don't ever, and I don't know if the person was asking it in that way, but the answer should never be something absolute, right? It's always just be trying to figure it out, because we're all just trying to figure it out. And one of the ways you do that is by having conversation. That's why I try to encourage people to always talk and engage and have honest and real conversations. Not like the conversation I have in the previous video, right? Because that's a dishonest conversation on both sides. And you won't learn anything there because people are couching it. But it's also why when I end these conversations with people, I often start with something either super revealing. It's not that I'm proving myself to be vulnerable. That's a weird word. But I'm just saying I'm willing to share with you some strange stuff, right? Because every so often then you just get this look. And I've had this look from somebody who probably runs a company of like 5,000 people or something now, where they just look at me and they're like, okay, let's talk about this. And it was like let's have that honest talk about this and let's go through it. Because here's what happened. And here's the visible fallout of it and how I probably would have said something different because I worry about that. Here's how internal fallout happened. Here's how long-term happened. And was it right for the answer for me at the time? Well, it got me to think about some stuff about how you try to break up how you deliver the information and stuff, right? I'm bad at that. I go on LinkedIn and I'm making fart jokes. And I have to delete. I delete a lot of videos. I delete a lot of LinkedIn. Sometimes it's just the act of doing it that's helpful to me. I don't know. But yeah. So, and my younger self, was why I really wouldn't give this advice to me, was really good about forming community. I knew this early on. I've never thought I was smart. I always thought I was probably the dumbest person in the room and I should listen to everybody. So like when I ran play festivals, when I was in school, putting on my own work, whatever, I always listened to everybody, always talked to everybody, and always walked around. In fact, when I ran the student play festival, it was the first time that we had cross discipline with other disciplines. The first time it was money making. The first time it was a packed house. It was like really good, really good. I'm a little toot my own horn there, but I never had meetings. I just went around and talked to people, and then you got to people like, oh, you should talk to them because they're dealing with this too, and like it. It's always been my conversational way, right? I did walk around in a robe with a box of cereal that people just stuck their hands in and ate, and that didn't bother me back then. I don't know, I couldn't do that now. But like I couldn't do that now. So it's not gonna be helpful even for me. So my past self can't help my future self. And that's why I'm always kind of curious of where things are gonna go. And like the thing I'm working on now, I'm staring at this, and like my note that right before I went to bed was breaking down alerts that I needed to have something do as it comes alive. I don't know how to implement one of them. I'm gonna go learn something today. It's gonna be fun.